Right, welcome to a little compendium of some drawings today. We're going to be just running through a few that I have done, and I'm just going to walk you through them. They're just some quick drawings today. I don't know if you've seen this one before, but this is just how to draw boots. A nice simple drawing here just to show an item of clothing. A lot of my videos recently have been highlighting one specific aspect. Apart from the meta art video, the last one uploaded, if you check that out, it's really interesting the way it was analysing the modern art of YouTube. That there isn't just videos of art tutorials on YouTube, there's also videos of animals doing funny things. It's like a kind of one of those old shows you used to get where people would send in videotapes. It's fascinating. Anyway, this is boots. You can see those quite clearly. I'm going to take you to teardrop now. This is actually quite sad. So if you're in an emotional state, I would switch off this video now, or at least pause it. Go and get yourself a nice cup of something warm, like an Ovaltine, or like a warm soy milk. Pour some almond milk into it as well, perhaps. Be careful not to tip it into your eye, very important, and then sit back down again and take this video back in hand, and you'll be in a state where you can watch it, because it is quite emotional. I actually, while I was creating this picture, I was sobbing, and you could say a bit like actors where they get into like a method mode, they put themselves into that particular mood. I put myself into method arting, and it put me into the state where I could understand sadness, understand devastation, and desolation, and sorrow, and all the aspects of feeling just like you're a wreck. And you can see the teardrop there dropping from his eye. He's so sad. We don't know what about. We don't know what is his story. He could have just answered the door, and instead of a package being delivered, someone punched him in the face. It could have been that he's dropped a crisp. Opened a packet of crisps, the crisp fell. We've all been very devastated by that action happening. Perhaps he was eating dinner, and as he's poking through his dinner with a fork, there was a small hippopotamus that's just appeared. That would obviously indicate some kind of mental illness, but still he would be sad that that was appearing on his plate. Right. Anyway, moving on. Next one is very different to teardrop. This is just for those who enjoy insects. Okay. I ripped the page away there because I decided I had the wrong size brush. So this is for people who like insects. The king of all the insects, of course, the spider. And what does he build? He builds a web. And as you can see, they're always in the same style, aren't they? Webs always look the same. So I just wanted to do that just to give an idea. Someone called Shelley Lynn requested this. And she told me afterwards she thought it looked like a staircase. You're looking at the top of a staircase going down a block of flats or something. I couldn't see that myself. I said it's clearly a web. And as you'll see at the end, I, of course, put the king insect in there himself. So if you were at any suspicion at all, then this would tell you, wouldn't it? So here we go. Of course, the 8 hairy legs that we're all familiar with. And just the warning, the red warning that you always get in nature of danger. And a bit of finality here, some detail to indicate, excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, some detail here to indicate the finer parts of the insect. So that's web, quite simple. Obviously the little pincers there that they have on the end of their feet. So moving on, we have one that was a bit tough. This was a scene I had to draw. This is for those of you who have done this, where you've thrown yourself off some stupid platform and risked life and limb. it's an extreme sport, and it can cause, of course, irreparable spinal damage. And if the bungee snaps, then obviously you fall to your doom, unless you can fly. I suppose that is a possibility. But so this is fashioned after El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, and that's actually what I modelled the mountain on the left. And here I'm indicating the movement that the person will make as they go off the bungee platform. And here I'm drawing the victim, the person who's the sports person who's doing the action, and they're obviously flying off. So this is them there, shrieking perhaps with joy. I don't know. I've never done bungee jumping. I never would. So I think I was feeling quite upset by the whole idea, that I wouldn't want to do it. So that's that one. Clearly bungee there. And this is just a nice little one here for those who are feline addicts among us. I have 14 cats myself, and this looks like one of my cats, who is called Leonardo, and this is just a fairly simple drawing. I didn't want to get too complicated in this, just the classic cat, and everyone can see at a glance it's a cat, and obviously the utterance that they all come out with, meow. So I didn't want to give it away here, so I obviously did the dashes there. And it also looks perhaps like he's playing a little musical instrument, as my Leonardo does. He plays a trumpet. So there you go. Move on to the next one here. Right, now, this is not advocating tobacco use. If you want someone to advocate tobacco use, go somewhere else. Pop down the butcher's, go to an artisanal baker, visit a postage stamp shop, one of those places where people trade. Go to one of those places, because they may well suggest you smoke. I am heavily against smoking. I used to smoke myself. I smoked about 40 packs a day for a brief while, and after a few years of that, I looked like this gentleman, and I've modelled this gentleman after an old picture of myself when I used to smoke all these woodbines, and I went bald. My lips bulged. I lost my sense of smell. One of my ears fell off. I couldn't see. And it was a disgusting time of my life. So when I look back on that now, I hope I can use it as a lesson to other people. I stopped immediately. I gave up. I don't understand people who can't give up. You just stop. I gave up. And I just went, cold chicken, as they called it, and stopped, and I haven't been back ever since. I'll smoke the odd cigar every now and then, but I haven't been back ever since. And I think every now and then you can probably understand that people can get addicted to things like this, and it's terrible, absolutely terrible. And who wants to look like this? Who wants to look like this person? That was me 20 years ago. Do you want to look like that? No. So Megan E, who this requested that I draw this for her, I think her uncle, who is a fan of cigars. I hope she took this as a warning against that. Now that's actually not an ear on the side. As I told you, my ear fell off. That was what I tattooed on the side of my head, an ear, so that I wouldn't be laughed at in public. So I wanted to look normal. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. For those who play golf, everyone knows that the tee goes in the ground. Not tea like you drink. Very important. I made that mistake myself the first time I played golf and was hounded out of the club. So ironically, with a club. So there you go. But there you go. It's just a simple one of the tee there with the golf ball and the person standing there. Okay, that's that one. Quite a quick one. Right, now, who hasn't had a turn in a jacuzzi and wished that they could bring back those memories? Because of course you're only ever going to do that once. And so here we go. This is steam. I'm giving the image of steam here. So I wanted to pull you into the mood with it when it was starting. I wanted to pull you straight in to a feeling of I'm being suffocated. I can't breathe. They're the same thing, effectively, I suppose. Like drowning? Is that the same thing? Drowning in steam? Possibly, maybe. I don't know, actually. Suffocated. Yeah, so, well, I don't know. I'll come back to that later. I'll consult a dictionary and I'll leave another video perhaps explaining the difference between those phrases and words. Right, so a jacuzzi is like a big bath where if you've got flatulence, then there'll be bubbles. But hopefully through some kind of mechanism of machinery, you'll also have bubbles. And if you go in it with other people, please be aware that it's really unhygienic. And all their skin cells will be floating all over you all the time. And so what I've done here, though, is I wanted to bring some racial harmony to this jacuzzi. So even though they are, of course, very unhygienic, these people, they're all in the jacuzzi together and they're showing the harmony that we could have in the world if we all just got into a big bath with each other. They're all very happy, as you can see, representing all the colours of the humans on this planet. And it's quite heartwarming, I think. And I think if you could take this to the UN, they could use this as perhaps their new logo. Imagine that, instead of the little fig leaves or whatever they are with the planet kind of in the middle, you could have this picture. Now, I'm covering up the lady on the right there because I realised I don't want to get a warning, content warning from YouTube, so I covered her up. Even some art, which is art, nudes in art, gets removed from YouTube because of obscenity rulings. So I wanted to cover her up there. And my last one, for those of you who are music fans, if I say the Moss Tops, I think you know who I'm talking about. This is a piece that I drew for someone recently who came to a Beatles cover band, and it was a band who were playing all the Beatles songs, popular things. I can't think of any now, like Hey Mr. Tambourine Man. I can't remember. I can't recall, but they're very they've got a lot of famous songs, and they play nice music for people. And so I wanted to draw something for one of the fans there who was tapping their foot away at all the songs that were coming on. When Stairway to Heaven began, they're thinking, they're playing all the classics. So I sketched this for them quickly, and then we printed it out at the bar with a little receipt printer so they could take it home with them. And of course, you've got the 4 classic members of the team there. And here's their Moss Tops. So we all can recognise that. Yep, there they are. Who could not immediately recognise who this was. So we got to just help out. What the fans like is they like to know which one's which. So of course you can tell by their faces which one's which. But I know sometimes the band members themselves, they like to put the letters on their shirts. So I put an R there for Rambo, P there for Peter, a G for George there, and a J for Jumbo. So, and I put the name of one of their famous songs on the bottom as a kind of signature, because they couldn't obviously be there themselves. They're obviously very busy people, and the cover band wasn't interested. They were not having anything to do with me for some reason. Cover band was saying he's not with us, which I thought was a bit rude. And there you go. So that's my little compendium of art for today. Hope you found that interesting, and it's whiled away a few minutes for you while you've put your feet up, thought about the weather. Maybe you've penned a little song in your mind about a little mouse travelling along a skirting board and finding a hippopotamus, like we mentioned earlier. Maybe they could go together into their little hole and have a bite to eat. Maybe you've been penning a song about that. In fact, I'm going to now pen that song. And you can go away now and happily do some art. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.